Hey there, we are going to do some chop comparisons for information and fun. So what I've got is my big old set of Triton jaws here. I'll do a quick walk around of these afterwards. This is an excellent backyard chop testing machine. A bit of a niche market, I'm sure, but it's got many other applications too, no doubt. Anyway, we're going to rig up a big old garden bed sleeper made of treated pine, and we're going to see how much 6 varying chopping or cutting tools can do to it within 20 strikes. So it should be pretty fun. So the tools we are looking at today are my new Khukri House Gurkha Khukri. It's called the camouflage model. You just kind of see what they've got on stock and you buy one. It was a 10.5-inch model, just over 1/4 of an inch thick, made of 5160 spring steel, just like they do, made out of old cast leaf springs, no doubt. So that's the first one. Then we've got a few other channel tools that you've seen before, namely the RTAK2, also 5160, 10.5 inches long, flat ground, very sort of thin behind the edge at the moment, chopping or large survival knife. Then we have the Tarava Skarama, the big old chopping beast from Tarava that you can get from their website over in Finland, I believe. Good value, great cutting tool made of 80 CRV2 steel. Then we have the Cudaman Entraserius, and this is like a tracker style knife, not an exact tracker, but sort of a dual knife, the big broad blade made for slicing, chopping and all sorts of things. It's made out of, you know, somewhat ambiguous MOVA Spanish steel, so probably a 440 type. And then we've got 2 axes. We've got my Gransfors outdoor axe, which although small still does pack a punch due to its wedge-like head and its thin cutting edge, so best of both worlds for small camp tasks. And then we have the small forest axe, which is getting towards being a fairly hefty cutting tool compared to all these other ones. So we're going to see how much each of those can do to a garden bed sleeper within 20 strikes. It should be something. First of all, what are these jaws? This is like a standalone, I guess a tripod just for gripping things. I find it really handy for this exact job. Right now it's unlocked. Slide this rail back and forth. You can hold anything up to, you know, yay thick in there. Then when you are ready to lock, you press the jaws manually as far into whatever you're gripping as you can, and then you reach around and you push the lock lever down, and then this here is something of a foot pedal, so you can use your foot. I've still got the cardboard on there, but you can use your foot and the spring tension, as well as some, I guess, graded stagger marks, hold this in place, so this is not coming undone. So combined with some really good high quality rubbery jaws, you can get a really good grip on a lot of stuff, so pretty cool. Alrighty, first of all, this is the small forest axe. I would suggest that has taken the most by far. That is a deep V getting about a third of the way through this very tough permapine sleeper. Next one is the Scrama damage. So the Tarava Scrama, a big old chopping thing, tool. Very good damage from the Scrama for sure. I would say almost better than the outdoor axe, which is an axe. So very interesting. It's a big thick sort of chopping, how do you call these? Are they called sacks or say or something like that type pattern. Very good damage. Next up is the damage from a Gransfors outdoor axe. Yeah, pretty confident cutter that was. It's got down fairly deep into the wood. I would say that the Tarava may have done a little bit better though. Interesting. Next up is the Khukri. Now this one is about on par, I would say, with the the outdoor axe. The cut is much more to the front of the wood, and I think that's just the curve of the Khukri sort of arcing over and catching this part. So it's actually got a fair bit taken out depth-wise, all the way down to there. So I would say it's about on par with the outdoor axe. Not quite as good as the Scrama though, I would say. The RTAK2 did very well. That's a big old chopping knife. This is just, it's huge. That's what gets its power. It's a 10.5-inch blade. Yeah, pretty deep bites and very precise bites, just from being a fairly sharp flat grind there, but yeah, not as deep maybe, although still nothing to chortle at. That's a fairly good, you know, see all these rings going down there. Fairly good cutter indeed, probably on par almost with the others. Very cool. And then lastly, the little Entrasarius. Let's have a look at that one there. The Entrasarius being a knife, so yep, you're going to expect perhaps. And next up, the little knife, well, it's not a little knife, but next to these guys it is, the Cudaman Entrasarius. So that did, you know, about a knife-worthy job. Didn't quite get all the way over the other edge like the others seem to do. But yeah, just hacked away. I guess if you had nothing else, it would do the job. But of course, this is all just for silly demonstration purposes. So the knife's probably not what you'd bring if you're cutting railway sleepers in half, or garden bed sleepers, or whatever the heck kind of sleeper this is. In fact, you probably wouldn't use any of these tools. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed this silly little video, and we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.